In the year 2055, the ocean was no longer just a vast blue expanse to cross. It had become the ultimate luxury destination. No airport terminals, no cramped flights, no layovers. The journey itself was the destination, and leading this revolution in travel was a marvel of engineering and design, the world's first double-floor luxury ocean ship, a floating masterpiece where every inch was built to redefine what humans thought possible at sea. It wasn't just a ship. It was a moving city of elegance, technology, and comfort, gliding silently across the waves as though it belonged to the future. From the moment you first laid eyes on it in the harbor, it felt almost unreal. Its exterior gleamed under the golden sunlight, a sleek hull of polished silver and deep midnight blue, reflecting both the sky and the ocean in a hypnotic blend. The ship's double-deck structure was visible from miles away, with panoramic glass walls on both levels that allowed passengers to see the horizon from nearly every angle. The design wasn't just functional. It was breathtaking, like something imagined in the sketches of dreamers decades ago. Now finally brought to life. The boarding process was nothing like the past. Gone were the queues, the security lines, and the clamor of hurried travelers. Instead, an AI-guided embarkation lounge greeted each guest individually. A soft voice recognized your name instantly, matching you with your personal AI concierge who would guide you through every part of your stay. As you walked toward the entry, the gangway itself adjusted in height and width to match your pace, lined with embedded lighting that responded to your footsteps, illuminating your path in a gentle glow. You didn't feel like you were boarding a vessel. You felt like you were stepping into a living, breathing creation that already knew who you were inside. The air carried a subtle fragrance, a custom blend created to evoke calmness, freshness, and the memory of ocean breezes. The first floor was designed for movement and connection. Vast open lounges with soft white leather seating, curated art installations that changed dynamically with the time of day, and transparent floors in certain sections that allowed you to see the ocean flowing directly beneath you. The walls shimmered with adaptive lighting panels that could mimic a sunrise, display starry skies at night, or project immersive underwater visuals in real time. Every detail was orchestrated to make you feel that you were part of the sea, not just a traveler upon it. Above you, the second floor was pure sanctuary, accessible by wide, floating glass staircases and high-speed magnetic lifts. It housed the private suites, each one spanning 2 levels in itself. Yes, double floors inside a double-deck ship. Imagine waking up in a master bedroom with a wall of glass looking out to the endless horizon, then descending your own private staircase to a lower-level lounge and personal balcony. Here, privacy and luxury fused in a way that no land-based hotel could match. The soundproofing technology ensured that even in the midst of a bustling voyage, the only sounds you'd hear were the soft hum of the ship and the rhythm of the waves outside. The double-floor design wasn't just for show. It served a purpose. It allowed the ship to create separate worlds within one space. The upper deck was elevated above the spray of the ocean, giving uninterrupted panoramic views and sunlight from dawn to dusk, while the lower deck felt closer to the sea, perfect for those who wanted to watch dolphins surf the waves alongside the ship. It was the ultimate harmony of perspectives, the sky above and the sea below, both yours to enjoy at will. Technology was woven invisibly into every aspect. Your suite's glass walls could shift from clear to opaque at a voice command. Climate control adapted automatically to your preferences, and holographic entertainment displays could project anything from a classic film to a live-streamed concert right in your room. The ship's AI kept track of each passenger's needs, from dietary preferences to activity schedules, so you never had to ask for anything twice. It remembered you. It learned from you, and yet, despite all this technology, the soul of the ship was deeply human. Every crew member, while assisted by advanced systems, was trained in the art of genuine hospitality. They weren't there just to serve. They were there to connect, to make you feel at home on the water. It was a perfect blend, the efficiency of I with the warmth of human presence. The moment you stepped out onto the open observation deck at sunset, you understood why this ship was different. The horizon stretched endlessly, painted in gradients of orange, pink, and gold. The water caught the light like a sheet of moving glass. And here you were, floating in the middle of it all, in a vessel that felt more like a dream than a machine. It wasn't just travel, it was a new way of existing between destinations, where the journey became the most beautiful part of the experience. This was not simply the future of travel. It was the future of how humans would live, explore, and connect with the world beyond the shore. ChatGPT said the first night aboard the double-floor, ocean ship of 2055 was unlike anything the passengers had ever experienced. As the sun dipped below the horizon, the ship eased away from the harbor without the roar or vibration of traditional engines. Instead, it moved silently, propelled by next-generation hydromagnetic drives that interacted with the water's natural currents, gliding the vessel forward with almost no resistance. It was as if the ship and the ocean were dancing together, neither forcing the other, but moving in harmony. From the upper deck observation lounge, passengers gathered to watch the shoreline fade into the distance. The panoramic glass curved high overhead, merging seamlessly into the ceiling so you could look up and see the stars begin to scatter across the sky. The lighting inside the lounge dimmed automatically, allowing the brilliance of the night sky to flood in. Some guests reclined in contour-adaptive seats, sipping luminous cocktails that glowed faintly under the soft blue ambiance. Others stood at the railing, feeling the faint kiss of the ocean breeze as the ship continued into open waters. Downstairs, the lower deck promenade was alive with gentle activity. Families strolled past glass-sided corridors where the ocean outside was lit by soft bioluminescent beams, revealing schools of fish that darted like glittering silver arrows. Small pods of dolphins swam alongside the ship, illuminated in soft light, and children pressed their faces to the glass in awe. The entire walkway subtly pulsed with a heartbeat rhythm, a design choice meant to make guests feel as though they were part of a living organism, not just a passenger on a machine. Dinner service on the ship was an event of its own. Instead of a single dining hall, there were multiple culinary spaces scattered across both floors, each designed around a theme. One deck housed a panoramic ocean view restaurant where the glass walls could fade to complete transparency, giving diners the illusion that their tables floated directly above the waves. The other featured a sky lounge eatery with a retractable ceiling, so guests could dine under the open stars. The menu wasn't fixed. It adapted to the ship's location and season. The onboard AI analyzed the surrounding waters and nearby ports to suggest fresh catches and locally inspired dishes. In the middle of the ocean, you might enjoy a perfectly grilled fillet of deep-sea fish, accompanied by vegetables grown in the ship's own vertical gardens. Yes, the ship had its own farms, rows upon rows of hydroponic plants bathed in soft grow lights, producing fresh herbs, greens, and fruits without ever needing to dock for supplies. After dinner, the entertainment began. In the main atrium, a soaring two-story space that joined both decks, a holographic theater came to life. Performers, both human and digital, blended seamlessly on stage. One moment you'd see a live pianist at a grand crystal piano. The next, a projection of an entire orchestra surrounded them, the music swelling and echoing as if you were in a concert hall on land. The AI-controlled acoustics made every seat the best seat in the house. Later, those who preferred tranquility retreated to the Serenity deck, a secluded space at the aft of the ship where soft loungers faced the dark horizon. Here, guests could listen to curated soundscapes, a blend of natural ocean sounds and calming melodies, while watching the ship's wake trail out into infinity. On certain nights, the ship's captain would dim all non-essential lights, allowing passengers to experience a full starlit sky, undisturbed by city glow. Inside the private suites, comfort became a science. The beds automatically adjusted firmness based on the sleeper's breathing patterns. The air temperature adapted in real time to ensure perfect rest. Even the scent of the room shifted subtly during the night, guiding passengers through natural sleep cycles. In the morning, the walls could gently brighten to simulate a sunrise, even if outside the sky was still dark. Everywhere, the double-floor design created moments of surprise. The upper decks offered sweeping, uninterrupted views of the vast sky and far-off weather systems moving like slow dances across the horizon. The lower decks brought guests into intimate contact with the sea itself, whether through glass corridors, submerged lounges, or open terraces that sat just above the waterline. The sense of scale was unlike any ship before it. Passengers could wake to the sight of the ocean stretching endlessly beneath them, then ascend to feel as though they were flying above it. The ship had set sail only a few hours ago, yet already it felt like an entire world, one that you didn't just visit but inhabited. By the time the passengers went to sleep, the hum of the ocean and the rhythm of the waves had already woven into their dreams. And for those awake, standing at the railing in the cool midnight air, there was only one thought. If this was just the beginning, what other wonders awaited on this voyage into the future? By the third day aboard the double-floor ocean ship of 2055, passengers began to realize that this was not just a vessel, it was a self-contained floating world, designed to make every moment feel like a step into the future. The morning sun spilled through the vast glass ceilings of the sky atrium, casting golden reflections onto the shimmering floor panels that subtly shifted hues to match the time of day. A gentle, almost imperceptible vibration ran through the ship as its hydromagnetic engines adjusted course, not because of rough seas, but to align with optimal sunlight for its solar harvesting wings, massive, elegant structures that folded and unfolded like the fins of a living creature. On the upper deck, the recreation district came alive. The infinity swim terrace was perhaps the most striking, a pool that seamlessly blended into the ocean beyond, with transparent sides that made swimmers feel as though they were floating above the water itself. Around it, loungers reclined under adjustable smart canopies that followed the sun's position automatically, ensuring perfect shade or light depending on your preference. Guests ordered tropical smoothies through holographic menus that appeared at the wave of a hand, with drones delivering them directly to each guest side. Beyond the pool lay the Sky Garden, a lush, two-story botanical paradise at the very top of the ship. Exotic flowers from every continent filled the air with a subtle fragrance, while a network of elevated glass walkways wound through waterfalls, koi ponds, and even small aviaries of colorful birds. At its heart, a suspended observation sphere allowed guests to step inside a transparent globe suspended over the ocean and enjoy a 360-degree view from horizon to horizon. On the lower deck, the adventure hub buzzed with activity. Here, technology blurred the line between real and virtual. Passengers could step into deep-sea exploration pods, compact, transparent submersibles that detached from the ship and descended into the ocean depths. The ship's AI mapped each dive in real time, allowing guests to experience the marine world as if they were professional explorers. For those preferring dry feet, a massive 360-degree dome theater recreated the dive experience using Ultra HD projections and real sensory feedback. From the slight rocking motion of the ocean to the faint scent of salt water in the air, sport and wellness were taken to entirely new levels. The fitness deck featured zero-gravity chambers for resistance-free workouts, designed not only for fitness enthusiasts but also for those seeking therapeutic rehabilitation during the voyage. An ocean-facing yoga pavilion allowed classes to take place directly over the water with transparent flooring giving the impression of floating. At night, this same space transformed into a celestial observatory with telescopes linked directly to space satellites, providing crystal-clear views of planets, moons, and even passing comets. Entertainment at night reached levels of immersion no land-based venue could match. The central amphitheater, located at the exact midpoint of the ship to minimize motion, hosted holoworld performances, where guests could be surrounded by holographic recreations of anything from ancient cities to alien landscapes. One evening might bring a concert with a live orchestra enhanced by virtual dancers who shimmered into existence from thin air. The next might immerse the audience in a simulated journey across the rings of Saturn. The holograms were so vivid that guests sometimes reached out to touch them, only to laugh when their hands passed through the light. Dining was just as adventurous. Specialty pop-up restaurants rotated themes nightly, appearing in unexpected locations across the ship. One evening, guests might discover a fine dining setup on the outdoor wave deck, surrounded by floating LED lanterns that drifted across the surface of the water. The next night, a hidden lounge might be revealed behind a wall in the library, where guests could enjoy a molecular gastronomy experience with dishes that transformed textures and colors as they were eaten. The crew and AI moved like a perfectly orchestrated team. Human staff handled personal connections, remembering guest preferences and creating genuine moments of hospitality, while the AI managed efficiency and customization. Want your coffee exactly at 6:15 a.m. with the same flavor and temperature every day? It appeared without asking. Prefer your room slightly cooler after sunset? The AI adjusted it without you noticing. Every detail, no matter how small, felt considered, anticipated, and perfected. The double-floor design continued to surprise. A guest could start the morning jogging along the Skytrack, a transparent path that extended beyond the edge of the upper deck with nothing but the sea below, and end the day sipping wine in the undersea lounge where panoramic windows offered views of nocturnal marine life. Both floors offered completely different perspectives of the journey, and it was this duality, sky above, sea below, that gave the ship its unparalleled charm. As night descended on the third day, the ship's lighting system entered Oro mode. High above the masts, a network of drone projectors created a moving light display that mirrored the real aurora borealis, dancing across the night sky while reflecting off the calm waters below. Guests stood in silence, some with arms wrapped around loved ones, others simply gazing upward with the quiet realization that this wasn't just travel, it was the redefinition of what travel could be. By the fourth phase of the voyage, the double-floor ocean ship of 2055 had left behind the calm blue seas of the equator and was now gliding toward regions of Earth that only the most advanced vessels could explore. The atmosphere on board shifted, from casual luxury to an almost electric sense of anticipation. Every passenger knew that what lay ahead would be unlike anything they had ever seen, a journey through extreme environments, powered by technology that made the impossible feel effortless. The morning began with a ship-wide announcement. The AI concierge, speaking in a warm, human-like voice, revealed that the day's route would take the vessel through the Crystal Strait, a narrow, remote corridor of ocean surrounded by towering ice cliffs that glistened under the polar sun. This was a place no conventional cruise ship could navigate, but the double floor's adaptive hull system, capable of subtle shape-shifting to distribute pressure, allowed it to pass safely. Passengers gathered along panoramic glass walls on both decks, watching as the ship slid between walls of ice so clear and pure that they reflected the vessel itself like a giant mirror on the upper sky deck. The designers had prepared something special. Transparent observation pods, shaped like teardrops of glass, slowly extended outward from the sides of the ship, giving guests the sensation of hovering directly over the icy waters. Some even spotted pods of orcas swimming below, their black and white forms darting through the clear blue depths. The ship's environmental AI displayed real-time wildlife data on the glass panels, identifying species, tracking movements, and even sharing the history of their migration patterns. The lower aqua deck offered an entirely different experience. Here, the undersea lounge transformed into an Arctic exploration hub. The panoramic windows that once showed coral reefs now revealed drifting sheets of ice from beneath, lit from below by the ship's bioluminescent floodlights. Guests sipped steaming cups of spiced tea as they watched seals glide past in complete serenity. Every so often, a loud crack echoed through the lounge as distant ice shifted, a reminder of the raw power of nature that surrounded them. After lunch, the ship entered one of its most awe-inspiring modes, ocean sky dive. The upper deck's retractable dome opened, revealing a launch platform for drone gliders, sleek, aerodynamic craft that could carry 2 passengers at a time high above the ship. Those who dared were able to soar over the polar cliffs and look down at the ship from a bird's-eye view, its double floors gleaming like silver in the sun, cutting through ice-streaked waters with graceful precision. The experience was so quiet that passengers could hear the distant splash of ice calving into the sea. In the evening, the entire vessel prepared for the highlight of the day, docking at the Ice-Crown Plateau. This was a floating dock system designed specifically for this ship, allowing passengers to disembark directly onto a stable ice shelf without disturbing the environment. Here, heated pathways guided them across the glacial landscape to a temporary glass pavilion where a 5-star dining event awaited. Inside, chefs prepared locally inspired dishes using sustainable ingredients, while panoramic panels displayed live footage of the ship in the distance, bathed in golden twilight. The return to the ship was nothing short of magical. As darkness fell, the vessel's aurora veil system activated again, but this time the light show was enhanced by real auroras dancing overhead. The fusion of man-made artistry and nature's own light was so stunning that many passengers simply stood on the open deck in silence, faces illuminated in shifting greens, purples, and blues. It was a reminder that technology could enhance nature, not just compete with it. Later that night, as guests retired to their suites, the ocean ship quietly adjusted its internal climate zones. Warm golden lighting in the sky garden contrasted beautifully with the frosty blues visible through the panoramic windows, creating a surreal blend of worlds. The hum of the engines remained soft and steady, a constant reassurance that, no matter how remote or harsh the surroundings, this floating marvel was entirely in control. Here, surrounded by ice and light, the double-floor ocean ship of 2055 didn't just feel like the future of travel, it felt like the future of humanity's relationship with the planet. A vessel capable of exploring without destroying, of bringing people into the heart of untouched beauty without leaving a scar. And as the night deepened, it became clear to everyone aboard, they weren't just on a voyage. They were witnessing a promise of what was to come. The final leg of the double-floor ocean ship of 2055's journey was designed to be the most unforgettable chapter. A grand finale that would leave passengers with stories they could tell for the rest of their lives. As dawn broke, a soft, golden glow filled the ship's panoramic windows, but this was not an ordinary sunrise. The vessel was approaching the Halo Atoll, a perfectly circular chain of emerald islands, surrounding a lagoon so still and reflective it looked like glass. For centuries, this location had been unreachable to large ships due to its shallow entry points. But the double floor's adaptive draft system allowed it to glide gently over the shallows without disturbing the fragile marine ecosystem. From above, drone cameras captured the surreal sight of the vessel entering the lagoon, its silver-white hull mirrored perfectly in the water. Passengers on the sky deck gasped as the atoll's crystal-clear waters shifted from turquoise to sapphire, revealing coral gardens that stretched for miles beneath the surface. Schools of neon fish swam in synchronized waves, and an occasional ray glided gracefully across the seabed. The day's program began with the unveiling of the ship's most exclusive experience, the Ocean Crown Gala. This was not held in a ballroom or dining hall, but in a glass-domed floating pavilion that had detached from the ship's upper deck and anchored itself in the center of the lagoon. Guests boarded sleek, autonomous skiffs to reach the pavilion, where a 360-degree view of the atoll surrounded them on all sides. The transparent floor revealed the reef below, and the ceiling refracted the sunlight into shimmering patterns that danced across the tables. The gala featured a live orchestral performance, but instead of traditional instruments, the music was created using AI-composed harmonies blended with the natural sounds of the ocean, the gentle splash of waves, the call of seabirds, and the occasional splash of a leaping dolphin for those who preferred adventure. The aqueduct hosted the lagoon descent experience, where small submersibles took guests deep into the heart of the coral gardens. The vessels' panoramic domes allowed uninterrupted views of the underwater world, revealing labyrinths of coral arches, hidden caves, and rare marine species that had never been documented before. Each submersible was equipped with advanced scanning tech, and guests could leave with their own personalized 3D map of the reef they had explored. By sunset, the ship transitioned into what the designers called the Golden Veil mode. Its exterior lighting system bathed the entire hull in a warm, golden-white glow, turning it into a beacon in the center of the lagoon. Guests gathered on the Sky Garden Terrace for the closing ceremony, where holographic displays recapped their journey, the equatorial crossings, the Arctic ice passages, the glider flights, and now the serene embrace of the Halo Atoll. The AI concierge delivered a parting message, thanking them for being part of a voyage that symbolized the union of exploration, sustainability, and human imagination. As night fell, nature delivered one last gift. The lagoon's waters began to glow with bioluminescent plankton, turning the ship's wake into a trail of blue fire. Passengers leaned over glass railings, watching as the glowing waves sparkled in the moonlight. The music from the gala pavilion drifted softly over the water, blending perfectly with the night's serenity. In their suites, guests lay in bed with panoramic ceilings showing the starlit sky above the lagoon. Some stayed awake, unwilling to close their eyes and miss a single moment of this once-in-a-lifetime experience. The double-floor ocean ship of 2055 had not just taken them to distant horizons, it had redefined what travel could be. It was proof that luxury and responsibility could coexist, that human engineering could work in harmony with nature, and that the future of travel was as much about preserving beauty as it was about discovering it. And as the ship prepared to quietly depart the Halo Atoll at midnight, leaving behind nothing but gentle ripples in the lagoon, one thing became certain to every soul on board. They had been part of history, and the memory of this voyage would travel with them forever.